techniques, and then we're going to do some more lecture, and then we'll go into the other movements, the rotation and side bending of the lumbar spine. Scoot just a little bit closer to the edge. I don't want you all the way on the edge. That's good right there. Okay. So the way we induce intervertebral motion in the lumbar spine is we actually start at the bottom, we work our way up. Okay? That's going to be true when we do our side bend and our rotation, our flexion and extensions. Okay? So the first thing I need to find is his spinous processes, right in the center of his spine. I'm going to look for S1, L5, S1, L5. Now, how can you be sure you're on L5 and not L4 or? Okay, so the sacrum's next, right? What most prominently, what's very different between the spinous process of L5 compared to L4, L3, L2?
It's the broadest.
It is the broadest or the
smallest? Because it's wedge-shaped.
The disc is wedge-shaped. The spinous process, I'm asking. It is very, it's pointy. And the spinous processes of L2, L3, L4 are very broad and flat. So if you're on the spinous process and it seems very large and flat, like this one here, that's not his L5. His L5 is very pointy. So I'm going to be on L5, between L5 and S1, my middle finger goes there. And then to induce flexion, I'm going to flex the knees up, okay? So I want the weight of his legs to be on the table if possible, so I'm not having to do the physical lift-in. I will use his knees against my hip and the bottom of his feet here to help induce the amount of flexion that I need. If need be on these tables, if you guys are sticking to them, you might need to put a sheet down so the legs will glide easier. But all I'm doing is I'm inducing flexion into the lumbar spine until I feel the spinous process and how much movement's there. And then I move up to the next level and just continue. Kind of get an assessment of it, move up to the next level, and I'm up higher until I start to feel that segment move. Right there in that range, move up to the next segment. I can continue this all the way up until like T11, 10, so you can test the lower thoracic segments in this region as well. So what we did for the thoracic spine was we did the head tilting for like T1 through 4. You can do that there. And then for flexion, flexion in particular, side bending, motion testing, you can go all the way up to like T11, 10 levels, okay? Where you really use the finger methods mostly is in that mid-thoracic spine, okay? All right. If the legs are too heavy or it's just not working so well, you can do a one-legged method. You have a couple of methods there. If the person's light enough, you can just kind of pick up the entirety of the leg and do the same process, or once again, just kind of take the weight of the leg into your hip and just induce the flexion that way, working your way up. Okay?
Is there going to be a big difference if you use one or two legs?
I